Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name is David, and this is a magic book review. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Got a great one for you. I've been looking forward to this for a super long time because I picked this up at Magi Fest from the Vanishing Ink table, but it was not yet released. And so I've been waiting for this to be released, but that was fine because it gave me time to really read this book and really go through it. So I have digested a ton of this. This is the definitive mental mysteries of Hector Chadwick. It's Friday. Yep, it's Friday. And on every Friday, I try to review a magic book. Now you could say, well, why don't you review a magic book every Friday? How come you don't do it? How come you don't successfully review a magic book every Friday? I'll tell you the reason. Books take a long time to read. I can't read a book necessarily in a week, okay? So even though there might be a couple of Fridays I miss, I'm still reading a magic book and then, trying those tricks out as well. So you can't just read it. You got to also, do some of the tricks and experiment with it and really let it sit with you. So yeah, I'm never going to review a magic book that I just, read in 5 minutes or scread or just, read the prelude and just scan the table of contents. Like, I have to actually read these books. So reviewing a magic book takes a lot more time than reviewing a magic trick. All right, so Hector Chadwick. Hector Chadwick is our author. Who's that? Who's Hector Chadwick? Yeah, well, actually, it's his pen name. Okay, Stephen Long is the author. Stephen Long is the human, right? He's the person, and he's a writer, right? He's a writer. He's also a magician, mentalist. He's co-authored a lot of Darren Brown stuff. So if you've seen like Svengali or Apocalypse or The Great Art Robbery or The Push, he co-authored along with that. So kind of he makes his money doing writing alongside Darren Brown. He's also done writing for TV magic shows or story writing, like dialogue for video games, and that's what he does. And you can learn more about him at hectorchadwick.co.uk. This book, what's the deal with this book? This book hasn't always been called The Definitive Mental Mysteries of Hector Chadwick, right? That's the new title for the Vanishing Ink release. This book has been self-published by the author several times before. So this is not the first release. I'm not sure, but I want to say this is at least the third edition, at least the third edition. So, but every single time it came out before, it was, like I said, self-published, and he was publishing like 50 books at a time, and then they would just sell out, and then you have to go through the process, of publishing it again. So this book, okay. So if you're going to ask, okay, what's in this book? Definitely, if you've never bought the book before, this is the edition to get. Absolutely. If you have bought the edition before, let me tell you what the differences are. This book contains most, that's what I've heard. I've heard most of the same effect as the original, but the book has been rewritten. Okay, so he's gone back through and rewritten the book now for the year we're living in so that it was fine-tuned and had any extra ideas he had. It was also re-illustrated, okay? It also includes the lecture notes, miscellanea, that he did at the Mind Summit convention in 2016. And Stephen Long also says it also contains 1 or 2 shiny new additions. So that's why it's now called the Definitive Collection. I'll show you a picture of the table of contents so you can see exactly what's inside, just in case you've got the original version, or we're thinking about what this book included. Hardback book, beautiful book. You know what Vanishing Ink books look like, right? They're gorgeous. 258 pages and a prologue from Darren Brown, the man himself. A couple of my favorite submissions in the book. Keys. This is a psychometry routine with 4 sets of keys that climaxes in a detailed description of a set of keys the performer has never even seen. In the trick, an astrological aside, this is a star sign revelation that you're going to do from stage with an audience member, and they will have not written anything down prior. Then there's the paper plane chair game. This is a completely open prediction that reveals which of 4 different colored chairs that are on the stage, you predicted which ones the audience members will sit in as they walk up. He's got a really great essay on playing cards and mentalism, which I think if you've ever had that question that debated back and forth, I think this essay really answers and really captures even what I believe too. In reds and blacks, you're going to have a shuffled borrowed deck, and you will divine correctly the colors of the faces in a long, endless stream of cards. He's got a trick called a card behind, and this is his take on the spectator becomes mind reader, and he does that with a deck of playing cards. And then he has an essay that follows that called Whoops, You Got It Wrong, and it's where he gives his explanation as to why you don't need to show spectators everything to either prove or disprove something. I mean, if they got it wrong, you just table it. They don't need to look at it. You don't need to prove that they got something wrong. He has another essay about equivoque, which is awesome, and I totally got into that. And if you get this book, I would highly recommend you read this. A really great stage effect he has in here is called the Windsor Magnet. It's a transferal of power effect where you get a really strong guy who ends up losing all his strength, and he finds that he's unable to lift the arm of a smaller person, even though he had done it moments before. And one of the last tricks in here is called Tossed Out Q&A. And really, a really strong Q&A routine can be one of the most powerful things you can do as a magician or as a mentalist. Technically, this isn't really a Q&A effect because he doesn't answer any questions, but the way he goes about doing this makes it a Q&A that is probably a little more accessible to more people. And I want to read to you something from the end of the book. It's just a little paragraph. It's not really part of any trick. It's just part of the epilogue, and it's a really good example of his writing style. You can really tell that he makes a living as a writer more so than a magician, and I think, man, that really helps when you're reading a magic book. I think it's good to be a good writer. Now, I don't think everybody should write a book, okay? So here's what it says. Getting it wrong is at the very heart of the magical experience. An audience knows you hold a coin, and yet they are mistaken. They know their thoughts are private, and yet they are deceived. It is this very wrongness that enables the experience of magic in the first place. But if we do our jobs correctly, we make these flawed assumptions enjoyable and frame wrongness as wonder. And let me just close with this. I walked around Magi Fest for 2 days, and the very first day I was there, I saw this book, and it went to the back of my mind as I'm gonna buy that. But because the price tag, books aren't cheap. I think this book is $60. I think this book right now, Vanishing Ink, is $60. I still walked around the convention looking for something because I always want to get something that I just couldn't get anywhere else, right? Like why am I at a magic convention if not to get something that just isn't available from anywhere? Like, show me something I've never seen. Show me something, blow me away, right? I walked around Magi Fest and I didn't find anything that I wanted. There wasn't anything there that I thought, I hadn't seen before or knew I couldn't get somewhere else. It was this book. Really, it was this book. I made one purchase at Magi Fest, and it was from the Vanishing Ink table. And this is the book I started reading, and I've been reading this book ever since the convention, and gone back to it several times over. So wonderful, wonderful edition. And I know to all of you who already own the book, who had previous releases and then it sold out, and you thought, oh, I've got one of the books, I've got this rare collector's item. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it got re-released again. I know, I'm sorry. And I'm sorry this one's even better than the one you have because he's rewritten it and it's got better illustrations and it's got some new fine tunings and some new additions. But wow, it's such a great book. It is such a great book. Props to Stephen Long, props to Vanishing Ink. What a great book. All right, that's the end of my book review. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you like book reviews. If you do, give it some love. The Magic reviews always get tons of love. The decks of cards and the Magic books, not so much. So give it a like, give me a follow, hit me up with a subscribe, do all the clicky clicks. And if you want to purchase this book, of course, you will find it from Vanishing Ink or wherever quality Vanishing Ink products are sold. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.